This is an excerpt from Chapter 8 of my novel, The Worst Kind of Girl. Late that afternoon, I closed the motel office again and drove out to my property, past the dry lake bed, past a whole lot of nothing but sand and creosote and a curve of rock. The light was mellowing out. I unfolded my camp chair and set it at the top of the rise that was part of my 2 acres. The views were sweeping. Already the sun was behind my little pile of rocks near the far end of the lot. Mountains in the distance were in shadow. I spotted a rabbit resting beneath a teddy bear cholla. A ground squirrel dashed across open sand, then dove down a hole. All around me life buzzed. The wind gusted a little, and a family of quail clucked and hurried between creosote bushes. To the west, an egg yolk sun was drawn under by bloody reds. Across the sky to the east, pink shimmered against the dark. There was not another person around, just a few lights in the distance. No one would hear me if I screamed. Sound traveled farther in the desert, but it also bounced and danced off the rocks and sand. It played tricks. Out here, I could not count on anyone's help if I ran into a man with bad ideas. All my life I had tried to avoid getting caught alone with a man and his bad idea. Of course, sometimes I did get caught. Most everyone did, sooner or later. My notebook was still closed in my lap when the light went completely. But I made my way back to my room and opened that blank Word document, its blinking cursor like a finger tapping. I locked the car doors and turned on the overhead light. I opened my notebook, put on my reading glasses, and wrote, "Dear Gerry, now that you're back on your feet, I want you to come out here and feel the bigness of this place. You won't believe how different the desert is from Connecticut. The Mojave will make you feel small and as big as everything, Gerry. There is room enough for every idea. I found room for myself here. Maybe you will too." I looked up, but of course I could not see anything outside the car. I really was making myself a target out here, all lit up in the pitch-dark desert. I turned off the overhead light and let my eyes adjust. A smattering of stars appeared in the darkening sky, a preview of what was to come. I looked around. I could not shake the feeling that I was not alone. This land was layered with ghosts, everyone who'd managed to survive out here for a time. The Cahuilla and Chemehueve, white homesteaders, miners, ranchers. Then there were the hikers who wandered off trail, the broken-down drivers, the despairing and addicted, the crime victims. I turned on the overhead light again and picked up my pen. For a moment I admired the look of it in my hand. I liked the feel and weight of it. I liked the connection I felt between my pen, my hand, and my heart. "Gerry," I wrote, "you won't believe the stars you can see out here. There are so many more than you realize, but they are always up there. So much exists that you have not yet seen. Most of the time, out here, the sky is blue. But sometimes charcoal clouds settle over the rocks and the wind kicks and screams and everything is out of our hands. It wrecked my nerves when I first got here, but now I try to appreciate how the wind clears the air. I am better out here is what I'm saying. Maybe you would be too. I was honored that you shared all that with me in your last letter. I want you to know that I get it. I want you to remember that you get to choose. You don't have to wait to be chosen. You get to write and rewrite your story infinite times and always be the star. Don't edit yourself to silence." I stared at the words on the page. If only someone had written something like that to me when I was Gerry's age, I thought. Maybe I was writing this letter to Gerry and also myself. I started a new paragraph. "Listen, don't tell your mom, yet anyway, but I think I'm falling for Sky, that woman I told you about." It looked real there on the page. It was real. I'll tell you all about it when you come visit, I wrote, knowing I'd officially crossed into pushy aunt territory. Gerry would see the desert when and if she was ready, like everyone. You must not make an enemy of your own body, Gerry. There will always be people who want you smaller, but you shouldn't be one of them. A woman's big body is just the beginning, I wrote. We are big when we question traditions. We are big when we stand up and say, fuck you, this is me. We are big when we dress, live, and love how we feel. We are big when we say the truth out loud despite everyone telling us to pipe down. We are big when they call us shrill, but we keep talking anyway. We are big when we claim the slurs used against us and all our regrets. When we refuse to settle, insisting on pleasure or at least some damn peace. We are big when we admit we tried but failed. We are huge in those moments, Gerry. All I want is for you to see how fucking beautiful it is to be a big girl. Loving our bigness changes everything, I wrote. I folded up the letter and put it on the passenger seat. I started up the car and slowly navigated my way back to paved roads. I did not look in the rearview mirror, but I knew they were there, all the old ghosts.